Chapter 6, Quadrilaterals. What is a polygon?
A polygon is a closed shape with at least 3 segments and has vertices.
Here's a few types. A triangle, which has 3 sides. A quadrilateral, which has 4 sides. And a pentagon, which has 5 sides. We also have the hexagon, heptagon, octagon, nonagon, decagon, dodecagon, and 15agon.
Other ways to classify polygons. Other ways to classify polygons. Convex. When extending the lines of a polygon, none of them are inside the shape. Concave. When extending the lines of a polygon, and at least one of them extend into the shape. As seen here and here. What is a regular polygon? A polygon where all sides and all angles are congruent.
What is a diagonal? A diagonal is a line segment that connects 2 non-consecutive vertices. All angles in a quadrilateral add up to 360 degrees. But why? Because of the interior angle of the quadrilateral theorem. By the way, in this quadrilateral, A and D are consecutive and A and C are non-consecutive.
Parallelograms, quadrilaterals with opposite sides being parallel. If it is a parallelogram, then opposite sides will be congruent.
Opposite angles will be congruent.
Consecutive angles will be supplementary.
And the diagonals will bisect each other.
Although it wasn't mentioned in the previous clip, another theorem for parallelograms is if the quadrilateral has a pair of congruent and parallel opposite segments. Knowing that, if a quadrilateral has congruent opposite sides, congruent opposite angles, consecutive angles that are supplementary, diagonals that bisect each other, or has a pair of congruent and parallel opposite segments, then you can determine that that quadrilateral is a parallelogram.
A rhombus is a quadrilateral that has 4 congruent segments. In a rhombus, the diagonals bisect each other, are perpendicular, and bisect the angles. A rectangle is a parallelogram that has 4 right angles. In a rectangle, the diagonals are all equal. A square is a parallelogram with 4 congruent sides and 4 congruent angles. A square is a combination of a rectangle and a rhombus. Squares are also regular polygons.
Trapezoid, a quadrilateral with only one pair of parallelograms. Trapezoid, a quadrilateral with only one pair of parallel sides. In a trapezoid, the parallel sides are the bases and the other sides are the legs. Isosceles trapezoid is a trapezoid where the legs are congruent. In an isosceles trapezoid, the base angles and diagonals will be congruent. Trapezoid midsegments. Midsegment, the line or segment that connects the 2 midpoints of the legs. Midsegment theorem. Your midsegment will always be 1/2 b sub 1 plus b sub 2. Kite, a quadrilateral with congruent consecutive segments. In a kite, only one pair of opposite angles are congruent. The diagonals are perpendicular, and the longer diagonal bisects the shorter diagonal.
Finding the area of the quadrilateral. What is area? Area is the number of square units needed to cover a surface. To find the area of a parallelogram, multiply the length times the width, or the base times the height. Here's an example. To find the area of a triangle, do base times height divided by 2, or 1/2 base times height. Here's another example. To find the area of a trapezoid, multiply half of the height by base 1 plus base 2. Here's another example.
The area of a kite is area equals 1/2 diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. Here's an example. Area of a rhombus. Area equals 1/2 diagonal 1 times diagonal 2, or area equals diagonal 1 times diagonal 2 divided by 2. This is, of course, if you only have the diagonal measurements. If you have the base, height, width, or length, then you can do area equals base times height, or area equals length times width. And here's an example of both of those. You cannot see all of this, but the area equals 25 square centimeters in both examples.
Well, that's it. Hope you enjoyed. Please give us an A. Thanks! By Nova Ross and
Melanie Hull.